Hi everyone and welcome to Wolves World for episode 2 of 5 in 5. That's 5 topics in 5 minutes. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends and follow me on my various platforms including Twitter and Instagram at northernwolf10 and my website www.wolvesworld.org. Thank you. Point number 1, the Chorley game last night was miserable. Of course, the most important thing was we won the game and we came out with no injuries. They are the two only real positives that came from last night. We're through and we have no more injuries to worry about. However, the performance was dire. There was a lack of anything positive. Once we got the goal, which I felt after 10-15 minutes could have led us to really putting them to the sword, getting some confidence back. From that point on, it was almost as if we were playing for a 1-0. And while I'm not disappointed or against that tactic in the Premier League, last night was not the time to do that. So that was really disappointing, and ultimately, the game was very poor. Point number 2, Patrick Cutrone. Unfortunately for him, his days in a Wolves shirt are now finished for me, and if anything proved it, it was last night. He was woeful. There were a handful of poor performances, but he didn't offer anything. He couldn't pass, he couldn't hold it up, he barely got an opportunity for a shot, and I didn't even feel his work rate was that high yesterday either. So Willian Jose coming in is a real positive, but it is very clear that Cutrone is not and will not remain a Wolves player for very much longer. I think Silva is still suitable as a backup for 30 minutes at a time. Jose is going to have to take on the mantle and ultimately Jimenez will come back. But Cutrone for me yesterday proved he was not a saviour by returning to the club. He is indeed the flop that we all are disappointed he is, but are very aware that that is what he is. Point number 3, player ratings. Okay, as you can see, John Ruddy, excellent game in goal. It's such a shame that we had to say that. I would rather have not mentioned his name at all, but he was by far the outstanding player last night. The two fullbacks I thought were particularly poor, as this was a real chance for both of them to show their attacking prowess and decisiveness, and they did nothing. Nouri in particular really disappointed me. I felt he was playing the game at a canter, which you're not able to do even against teams at that level. Poor attitude for me. I've already spoken about Cutrone with a low score, but Moutinho for me as well was very disappointing. These players last night for Chorley would have been thriving at the opportunity to play against an absolute experienced international footballer in his calibre, and to be honest, they were better than him. I thought he was too basic. Yes, the pitch was difficult and probably knocked him off his game, but he was not good enough at any point last night. While I'm not calling for his head or him to be dropped from the team, I think that was a real eye-opener for Nuno and for Wolves as fans and players, that he really should have got hold of that game and just didn't. Few positives. I thought Bolly looked much better, although he certainly should have done, and Dendoncker actually did all that he could. I think I would have liked to have seen Dendoncker being able to be a bit more free going forwards, but they weren't able to because Moutinho didn't really do anything. And final person I'd like to speak about is Vitinha. Yes, an absolute worldy goal. However, after that did nothing which he was brought in the team to do. He didn't pass the ball forwards, he didn't make any tricky passes, and for me he just drifted out of the game completely until he was eventually subbed, and rightly so. Point number 4. That game, whether it was good or bad or not, there is no way that we should have seen Neves, Traore and Neto come off the bench. What a risk to take with our players on a pitch like that in a game like that. I would have far rather have seen us struggle over the line by bringing on Kobianu, see what he could do. Couldn't have done worse than Cutrone. Maybe even try out another youngster at some point, because the bench was pretty youthful. But overall, that was a real risk, and to bring all 3 on at once I thought was a strange bit of tactical choice from Nuno, and we've seen that a few times now. So he does need to be careful as he moves forward, because people will start questioning him even further if he keeps making rash decisions like that. Yes, they saw the game out, but I think the risk far outweighed the reward with those 3 changes yesterday. And point number 5, final one from me today. I feel that Wolves are really in trouble coming into the next few fixtures. Chelsea, who are on a bad run of form at the moment and certainly don't look a difficult proposition on paper, if Wolves do not significantly up their attacking intent, they will get turned over quite handsomely in that game. I also think with Palace, to follow a team we've beaten comfortably twice this season, I do actually think that that is another game where Wolves must win that match, especially if Chelsea doesn't go our way. And right now, without being a little bit more positive in the attacking sort of dimensions of the pitch and with their incisive passing and forward thinking and creativity, if we don't up those areas of our game, I think we are in for a very long few months, irrespective of signing a new striker. Thanks very much. That's all from me. 5 in 5. Don't forget to like, subscribe, add me on my different platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and check out my website too. Thank you very much. Bye bye.